loot boxes, gacha pools, Pokemon cards, and cases. Whether you're diving into a AAA shooter or exploring a fantasy world, you've probably encountered these mechanics. Well, they seem simple. You buy a so-called mystery box, open it, and hope for something rare. But beneath the surface, loot boxes and gacha systems use powerful psychological tools that keep us hooked, sometimes in ways that feel less like entertainment and more like gambling. Today, we're diving into the psychology of loot boxes and gacha games to look at why they're so addictive, how they use gambling techniques, and why it's easy to fall into the trap. So, how do loot boxes and gacha games work? Loot boxes and gacha are straightforward on the surface. You spend currency to open a box or make a pool, hoping to get a rare character, item, or skin. But what really makes these mechanics so effective is the randomness. You never know what you're going to get, and that anticipation alone is enough to keep people coming back. Take Genshin Impact, for example. Each time you roll, you have a small chance of getting a 5-star character, and for some players, that tiny probability is all that they need to keep spending. Or think Counter-Strike cases. You spend money on a key, open a case, and pray for a knife. But most of the time, you'll get a Battlescard pistol worth about 10 cents. But here's the thing. Loot boxes aren't just about randomness. They're built around a psychological trick called a variable ratio reward schedule. This is the same system used by casinos in slot machines. Instead of giving rewards at predictable intervals, the game instead randomizes when you'll win, keeping you engaged because the next one might be it. Research into reward schedules has demonstrated that when rewards are unpredictable, people are more likely to repeat the behavior. Slot machines, for example, use this exact technique because it keeps players addicted. And when people are addicted, they will spend more and more and more.
No, I lost it all.
In a study conducted in 2019, researchers found a clear link between loot box spending and problematic gambling behaviors. They showed that individuals who spend more on loot boxes or gacha are also more likely to exhibit signs of gambling addiction, suggesting that these reward structures encourage similar habits. And that exactly is what is happening with loot boxes. The excitement of possibly getting something rare is enough to make players keep trying, even if they've already spent a lot of money. Okay, but what if you're not even enjoying it anymore? What if you spend so much that stopping feels like wasting your investment? Well, that's where the sunk cost fallacy kicks in. This is when people keep spending simply because they've already spent a lot. Instead of quitting, they convince themselves that just one more pull will make it all worth it. Well, let's say you're playing Genshin Impact. You're at 70 for a pulse, you know 75 is when soft pity starts to kick in, increasing our chances of getting a 5-star character. You think to yourself, I'm already so close, might as well keep going. But then you pull, and it's actually the wrong 5-star. Now you're forced into another 90 pull cycle to guarantee the character that you actually wanted. Well, at this point, you've already spent so much that stopping feels worse than just spending a little more just to get what you wanted. And that's exactly how these games keep you engaged, using the sunk cost fallacy.
440 cases! Finally!
Oh, and one more thing. Loot boxes don't just rely on randomness, they also exploit FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Many games make loot boxes time limited, meaning if you don't buy now, you might never get the item again. And this is intentional. Limited time offers create urgency, pushing players to spend before they have time to second guess their decision. These psychological tactics aren't just theoretical. They're actually deeply embedded in many popular games. Take Honkai Star Rail, for example. The game markets exclusive 5-star characters that players see as essential for staying competitive. Then comes power creep, a common gacha design choice where newer characters are slightly stronger or introduce unique, sometimes even broken mechanics, making older characters feel obsolete. This pressures the player to chase the latest, most powerful units. Additionally, some of the characters require other criteria to be viable competitively, such as getting the dedicated weapon, Eidolon level, and supports. This further incentivizes players to spend more to get the ideal team that they want. So what's the big deal? It's just a game, right? Well, yes and no. Research shows that loot boxes can encourage gambling behaviors, especially in younger players. The flashy animations, the dopamine rush, and the risk-reward structure. It all mimics real gambling. And the worst part? Unlike actual gambling, most of the loot boxes don't even give you something valuable in return. At least with a casino, you can win money. In games, you just get another duplicate skin that you'll never use. So, how do you avoid falling into these well-designed traps? First, understand the mechanics. Once you recognize things like variable rewards and sunk cost fallacy, it's easier to step back and say, wait, maybe I don't need to spend more. Second, use spending limits. Many platforms now let you set caps on in-game purchases, so use them wisely. Transparency from game developers also plays a role. Most gacha and lootbox related games now disclose the odds of winning certain items, giving players more information about their chances. This step doesn't exactly solve the problem, but it's a start. And finally, remember that lootboxes are designed to make money. They're fun, sure, but they're also a business model. So, in conclusion, whether it's Overwatch skins, Counter-Strike knives, or gacha games, remember to play within your limits. Stay in control, make informed decisions, and keep gaming fun without letting it get the best of you.
It's fake! That has to be fake! That has to be fake! What is it? Cameraman! Cameraman! Is this real? What's the knife?
I'm Chun, and thank you all for watching.